Should hockey players be keeping their stick in the lane? What should they do when they go out to block shots? Are too many pucks going off defenders' sticks these days? And is it time to rethink the way the NHL blocks their shots? Welcome to the Worst Sports Channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports with me, Coach Ryan D. And as part of our Coach's Breakdown session, our buddy Rich Mayo asked us to talk about sticks and lanes. He said, Coach Ryan D. Grapes, the former Don Cherry on CBC Hockey Night in Canada, talked about it all the time. You got to get your stick out of the lane. Well, here's a couple clips from old Don. First, you'll see Devontae Smith-Pelly here dragging it across the top of the circle, ends up hitting the shaft of the Tampa Bay Lightning defender, goes in over Vasilevsky. In a second goal here, we see Jakob Silfverberg take a pass, and the Calgary defender creates a ramp with his stick, getting his stick inside that shooting lane, putting it over the goalie's shoulder. So we're going to break down sticks and lanes, shot blocking, and good defensive zone structure for your teams so you can watch hockey better. Let's go ahead. Let's get after it, team.
Here's Lemieux. The center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh my God.
So the hallmark of a tough NHL team and a tough NHL player is you must block shots. His advanced stats and that have grown since the NHL has started tracking block shots since the late 90s. It has grown almost 100% from 500 to 600 block shots per game in the late 90s. We're well over 1,000 now in the NHL with over 1,200 block shots a season. And that is because we look at advanced statistics like Corsi and Fenwick, and we all talk about how many shots can we take away from our goaltender in the D zone, sacrificing your body and making sure you get stick and body in front of the puck to help your goalie out and help your team win hockey games. But is this a good idea? It's actually a very complex idea. Hockey is an incredibly complex game when it comes down to defensive zone coverage and what you should or shouldn't be doing when it comes down to getting your stick in lanes and blocking shots. And we're going to have to break it down between stick and passing lanes and stick in the shooting lanes, as well as man in the passing lane and man in the shooting lane. Every situation is unique, but we also have to break down shooting and scoring percentage. And then we have to talk about what it means to actually turn over a puck, because this is far from beyond the videos that you're going to see out there that talk about shooting percentage. They just talk about shooting percentage. Should you let the goalie save the puck? Well, you know what happens when your goalie saves the puck? You get a defensive zone faceoff, 50-50 draw. But there are times when blocking a shot causes a turnover, and turnovers are more important than hockey, I would argue, than almost anything next to goals. And causing turnovers puts puck possession in doubt. Puck possession in doubt gives you a better than 50-50 chance, if you have good structure, to be able to turn that puck over. And if you're new to Hot Garbage Sports and you want Coach Ryan D to break down one of your questions about hockey, whether that has to be about a player, a tactic, or a team, you let me know down below in the comments. That's how you get your video created like Rich did. Subscribe, like, join us. This is one of the best channels if you're an avid NHL and hockey fan. Let's talk about where you should be shooting from and where common shots are coming from in today's NHL. And to help us do that, here's a quick guide. This shooting guide that you see here up on the screen denotes high, medium, and low percentage shooting areas. We call it the home plate. Add the yellow and the green together, lo and behold, you have a baseball home plate from the crease. Anything that is between those dots in that green area is a high percentage scoring chance. These are 20 to 30% chances for players in this area. Block everything. Really simple. Moving up to the medium chance, this is the high slot. Anything that's in the high slot or the top of the circle here, this is a medium percent chance. This is about a 15% chance to score, sometimes as low as 10. You also want to block shots in this lane. These are where most of the scoring chances get generated from the NHL. You want to get your stick in the lane in these spots. And then up top, you're going to see the low percentage areas. They're all in red. The goalie should stop this all day, every day. This is less than 3%. Most goalies, I would expect mine to hit 100%. Now, whoa, coach, there's tons of shots that come from the point. There's tons of shots that come from all over these places that score. That's way too simple. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's why we have to add in puck movement into the game when we're talking about shooting chances and whether or not we should have sticks in lanes or going ahead to block shots. Let's take a look at those. So using our little handy dandy chart again here, we have this thing, it's in purple. It's called the Royal Road. Sometimes the slot line, name it whatever you want. It's invisible, it doesn't exist. Divide the ice into two. You can see our low percentage chances are pucks that do not move. There's no pass, they just come from the point or those red areas that we've seen. Goalie's gonna stop that all day, every day. Our highest percentage scoring chances, 30%, are pucks that go from below the goal line up to the top or from the circle over the Royal Road. These are very high percentage chances to score, and even elite NHL goaltenders like Henrik Lundqvist struggle, and they have an under 700 save percentage with chances like this. And then finally, our medium shots are shots that do not cross the Royal Road, but they come from that high danger scoring area. Got it? Good. Okay, and when it comes to shot blocking, we got 3 different techniques that we normally use. We have the stand up, feet together. This is the best way to block a shot. Your stick is not in the lane, but it is still part of a piece of your equipment that the puck can bank off of. So you create a little bit of a ramp with your stick. And actually the reason you want to create that ramp is because you want the puck to go over the top of the net. It is very unlikely that it's going to find the top corner, even though those first 2 clips we showed that they did hit the top corner off of a ramp. Usually you want to make that ramp, shoot it up over the net into the netting. Number 2 is the famous knee down. We see this all the time. Get your knee down, get in the shooting lane, block a shot. This is a very good way to block a shot, but the trouble with this one is it's much harder to get up and recover. If a offensive player stick handles around you or just lets you skate past them, you've just created a screen for your goalie. It's very hard to recover and get those loose pucks, because remember, we talked about turnovers. So standing up gives you the opportunity to use your feet and go get a loose puck when you block it. Going knee down, you take up a little bit more net, but it's much harder to recover from. And then finally, the wholesale dive. Everyone loves seeing a wholesale dive. This is used in desperation. When that puck crosses the Royal Road, in instances that you'd see here from left to right, usually up top of the point or across those seams down below the slot, this is where you're going to see guys use the slide block. And the slide block is just that desperation. Do anything you can, because we know there's a 30% chance this puck's going in the net. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first scenario that we can look at here. Philadelphia versus New York. There's our slot line right in the middle of it. This is a good block position for standing, but this actually isn't what the player is supposed to be doing at this point in time. So the player that is going out here, he's looking to block a low percentage chance. We know that is a red chance. That's a low scoring chance. What would be a much better play here is to get his stick into the passing lane, as you see here, and take away that backdoor pass, because that backdoor pass has a sub 700 save percentage in the NHL, and where he's shooting from right now has a 997. It's a pretty low chance to score. So goalies want to be able to see this. Now, when we talk about goalies, the most important thing is a goalie's eyes. A goalie needs to see the puck. If a goalie can see the puck, he's likely going to stop it if it's out far enough. Goalies who don't see the puck really struggle because they're making a guess at this point. It is all about their eyes. There are no blind goalies in hockey, but a really easy way to force a goalie to make a guess is what we see here. A puck behind the net. So Philadelphia has this puck behind the net. You have to rotate your head almost 180 degrees in order to get it in front to make this save and find the puck. You can't see it. You're likely not going to stop it. That's why this is so dangerous. So when shots end up coming from below or cross ice like that, this is what we want to see. We want to see number 17 here desperately sliding, throwing life and limb in front of the puck, because literally anything is better than nothing at this point. This is when you want, I don't care if it's a stick, a face, a head, a glove, get it in front of the goaltender. Here's a couple other examples of pucks going over that slot line. Letang just lets one rip here and boom, goes down. Absolutely vicious block here. Ends up taking it off the foot. This is bad blocking technique. You want to put your shin pads and your stick and your skates towards the puck. You never want to turn, but sometimes it's all you can do. Another really good example of paying the price. We know Subban can shoot the biscuit, and goes down with the one knee block. This is crossed the slot line, ends up taking it off the foot again. There's a lot of places where equipment covers, but it seems to be, when you take a look at highlight clips, that more often than not, they do end up clipping you in nasty spots like this. So that brings us to the second part of this. When you're blocking shots is it worth it? Because at times you're going to lose players for an entire game, maybe a couple weeks. It depends what it is. Most of the time it's nothing. The second most amount of the occurrences is a bruise. The third amount, you're actually out for the game or a longer period of time. And that is because players' equipment is actually not made to block shots. And NHL players, they're pretty dumb when it comes to equipment. They don't wear visors. They don't wear neck guards. A lot of them don't wear shot blockers, the ones that do wear shot blockers. And these are little attachments that you put on your feet and your ankles to give you extra padding so you don't break your ankle. They don't wear them until they actually get hurt. So once they get hurt, they go, wow, that really sucked. I'll go ahead and put on an extra piece of equipment. So there's equipment out there designed to help NHL players relieve the pain from these shots, but most of the time the boys don't wear them. Hey, their choice. They're men. But if I was an owner, I probably wouldn't want my top players injured because of a rogue puck. It just seems like a silly way to lose games and fans in the stands, especially when guys like Crosby or other guys get into shot lanes, and they do all the time. It isn't just bums blocking pucks. Superstars put life and limb in front of it all day, every day. So that being said, let's take a look at a few good ways to block shots. Anton Strahlman shows us a perfect way in this angle. Your feet are together. You don't want to open them wide. You open them wide, puck goes through, you're a screen for the goalie. The goalie can look around left to right of your knees, can't look through you. Where his stick is positioned is an ability to take the puck off there. But the one thing, take a look at his right hand. It's down to the right. I love that his left hand is facing forward. You never want to open your palm because there is no equipment there to block it. But for me, that right hand, I'm covering the bits and tackle. That's just me though. And here's another great example. And you can see he ends up closing his eyes last minute to this. Lots of guys end up doing that because, well, it's just a normal reaction. You also want to tuck that chin. And this comes from the days when you could get away without wearing a visor. Nowadays, you have it. Most guys are tucking chin into shoulder pads to cover their face, which again leads to the question, why don't we just cover the face? And if you're saying, hey, don't be a baby, take it off the face. Well, this is what a puck off the face looks like. Ouch, but at least he blocked it, right? Now here's an example of a bad blocked shot staying on your feet. He's going down to one knee, but if he doesn't get down in time, take a look at where the goalie's eyes are there. There is no way he can see this puck as he's getting down on it. So if this isn't a block, this may actually go into the net. This is a very questionable time to get down and block. I would stay on my feet in this scenario. Standing, take away more length of ice. Here's another example of that one knee block that we're talking about. It's an interesting way to block shots, but you're creating a ramp. Look where his left hand is. It's a great chance for him to break his left hand as that puck comes through. And there are a lot of holes that are coming through. What I want to point to you in this picture, though, is look at how many defenders are in front of Jonathan Quick. 0. This is the wrong time to block a shot. I know it's reactionary, but there is no one in front of Quick. If Quick can just see this puck, he's going to stop it. That's going to be the end of the play, but maybe we end up getting a turnover on that. And what do we mean by turnovers? We mean this: getting out to the point, blocking that shot. All of a sudden, a quick breakaway ends up happening and the great 8 ends up putting it in. Told you guys, superstars block shots all the time. All right, so here are some examples when the sliding block or the knee down or the desperation block works. Take a look at this one here. You can see Price, he's done. There's no way this isn't going to go in. This is when it is time to throw life and limb in front of the puck because it is nothing but open net. You put everything you can in front of that block. And then finally, you got to talk about sticks in passing lanes as well too. So you want to make sure you're using your stick in a passing lane. And here's a typical example of a D zone. Team red is on defense. Team blue is on offense. Probably the Leafs versus the Habs. Now you go ahead and you take a look at the team defense here on team red. What you have positioned here are 3 yellow areas of chances where a puck could be dangerously passed in order to put a puck into the net to create a green chance. You want to make sure that you have your sticks in these lanes and you're taking these lanes away from the corner. All right, guys, so that about does it with sticks and lanes and shot blocking. There's a time and place to block shots, and there's a time and place to put your sticks in your lanes. What are my final thoughts on this? At the end of the day, there are examples of good and bad for both. There's no universal answer to this. My answer to my team would be, because this game is played so fast, I want more block shots than less. I will take anything in the lane that I can get at that time, whether that's hand, stick, glove. So it is much easier, I believe, to commit to these blocked shots at all times, keeping pucks to the outside and keeping your shot count low, than it is to ask a player to read and react as to when or not they want the goalie to see the puck. So I think defenders and forwards, get the stick in the lane, get your puck in the lane, do it properly so you can stay as safe as you can, face as much equipment to the players you can, stay on your feet as much as you can, and make sure you tuck that face down into your equipment. If you're wearing half visor or less, make sure you're wearing your shot blockers. You put on the proper gear to play this game, because there is no award for missing time for blocking shots. You just want to get back out there and block more shots. So Coach Ryan D's answer, shot blocks and sticks and lanes, good. I disagree with Don Cherry on this one. This has been Coach Ryan D.